Oh hey, it's you! Welcome back to ScapeRune. It's good to see you again. I've just been settling in, trying to learn the ropes now that I'm here, and seeing what I have available to me. We've got a lot of work to do before we can unlock fairy rings, but before we start, how about I show you around my new home? Okay, so over here we have some cows, which are going to be a great source of some early combat XP, as well as like raw beef and also bones. There's also a dairy cow over here, so we have a source of milk. Over here we have the marketplace. It costs 1 cut diamond to get in, but once I get my hands on one, I'll have access to a decent weapon, and also a few other things. Over here we have the sand pit, and then we have this guy. I think he said his name was Blake.
Your name is Blake?
That's correct.
You're a meme?
Nah, I'm a legend.
And this is Cheldar. Once I hit level 70 combat, I'll be able to start getting some Slayer tasks from her, and she also sells some equipment. Okay, up next we have the windmill. Now I know what you're thinking. That's not a windmill, that's a cow mill, because it's powered by a cow. You're correct. That's gonna be nice because we can make flour. Also, cool thing is inside this very windmill, there is a dairy churn. Now this is big because there's a dairy cow nearby also. That means plenty of cooking content to look forward to. So tune in next week, okay? Because you don't want to miss it. Over here we got the bank. I don't really want to go over there because I don't want them to yell at me again, so let's just move along.
We don't take kindly to your types around here.
Okay, so down here there's some mysterious ruins and also these weird mushrooms. The fairies have been telling me not to pick them, but you know I gotta try it. And finally, we have the otherworldly beings. I don't really know too much about these guys, but I think they might have some good drops. And that's pretty much it for the tour. There's this chocolate bar on the table that I'll pick up and sell to the general store because it's one of the best ways to get a little bit of extra gold starting out. But you gotta watch out for the chef because she gets mad at you whenever you take it. Alright, so that's it. Now let's get into the video. Okay, so my main goal for this episode is going to be to get fairy rings unlocked, and that requires me to have completed Fairy Tale Part 1, and also to start Fairy Tale Part 2, and there's a few other quest requirements for both of those, so I'm going to need to get my combat up because there's quite a few fights with some higher level monsters that I'll need to do, so I'm starting out here with cows, since they're really the only low level monsters that I can kill, but that's going to be nice because we can cook the raw beef they drop, and also bury the bones to get a head start on some cooking and prayer XP. So I'm going over to Cheldar to check her item stock, and there's really only one item I can use at level 1 Slayer that she sells, and that's going to be the spiny helmet. It's not much, but it does give a little bit of defense bonuses, which might help a little bit once I get a higher combat and I'm going to start fighting otherworldly beings. But it costs 650 coins, so I've got a goal to work towards, since the raw beef only sells for 1 each and I can only sell 6 at a time, and I'll be getting chocolate bars and those sell for 4 each. I also got a lot of beginner clues while I was killing the cows, and I was checking some of the steps. It doesn't look like I'm going to be able to complete any of them, even in the future, so I'm probably going to ignore most of the ones that drop for me, which isn't so bad because beginner clues don't really drop anything useful, especially for Ultimate Ironman. So here are my stats right now. Killing cows non-stop is getting a little bit boring, so I decided to try and see if I could take on an otherworldly being in a one-on-one fair fight, and here's how it went. So it's going to be a while before I can kill him, especially just whacking him with my dreaming staff, so it's back to cows for a while. So as you can probably tell from my cash stack, I've been here a while. That's all from just selling raw beef and chocolate bars. So nothing really too exciting has been going on, I've just been killing cows over and over again. But when I do get a random event, it is a nice boost because I have the crafting level to cut the gems, so I can actually get a little bit of extra gold when I sell them, and hopefully this will give me enough gold to be able to buy the spiny helmet. So yeah, I have more than 650 gold, so that's enough to go buy the spiny helmet, or spiky helmet? I don't remember. But yeah, so let's go see what it looks like. Oh yeah, I'm liking it. And like I said, it's not much of a bonus, but every little bit counts. It's an upgrade from nothing, so. Alright, some more random events. Now this one's gonna be good because it drops uncut gems and they're noted, so I can stock up on them a little bit. Now, I don't know what I was thinking in this clip because I went and sold these to the general store, and they're uncut, so I didn't even get the full profit from them. Not to mention that diamonds are going to be incredibly important for me later, but oh well, next time we get diamonds, we're definitely keeping them. So there's really nothing new going on right now. I'm still just killing cows and then cooking the raw beef. So for now, the only thing I'm going to be really recording is when I get a random event like this, because a lot of these items are really useful and I can't get them from anywhere else. So for these mazes, I'm going to be trying to focus on opening a lot of these chests because there's a lot of lower level items that wouldn't normally be useful that I can only get from here. And there's a few I'm looking for in particular. Potions for helping on some of the bosses, and also some low level runes, which are really going to help me later on when I can start training magic. Alright, so we've been training on cows for a while. Our combat stats are finally high enough that we can damage these guys. Before, when I was trying to flinch them, they actually were able to regen faster than I could do damage to them, so now I'm gonna try going for a couple of their drops. It's pretty slow though, but I'm gonna see if I can get lucky with a weapon upgrade and hold on to anything else that could be useful. Oh, okay, so I'm really close to killing this guy, and I need maze random, so I just gotta finish him off, but oh man, the zeros are killing me. Okay, we're good. And we got a ruby ring, that's pretty nice. So let's see. Yes, okay, it's a maze. Awesome. And here's what we got. Alright, so we're all out of food, so this is the last one we can kill. Disappointing drop, but that's okay. Now we're gonna shift focus onto some cooking, making some bread. We're gonna need 40 cooking anyway, so we'll work toward that. Oh hey, so now we're actually in ScapeRune. So both of the skills that this can give XP for are going to be really helpful, and it's a big chunk to start out with. But I'm really hoping we get fishing, because we do need 5 fishing at the lowest to be able to start any of it. So, okay, good. So we got 7 fishing, that's perfect, that's all we need. Alright, so more of these guys, and another fishing random event. That'll put us at 10. Nice. Oh wow, so it finally dropped. We got the Mithril Mace, that's an upgrade. Let's see the stats on it compared to the staff. That's gonna be really nice for speeding things up. So this is one of the best things we can get from them. They have a couple other upgrades, the Rune Mace and the Battle Staff, but for now we're gonna stick with this until 40 at least. And just look at me go, these cows don't stand a chance now.
Imagine if I had a real weapon.
One of these otherworldly beings just started yelling at me out of nowhere. So one goal I wanted to work toward was to get 40 cooking at least to be able to make cakes. That's going to help later for when we do the quest. So I thought churning butter might be a good idea because it's kind of AFK, and I think it should be actually faster than anything else. Oh yeah, I missed it, but I just got 40 cooking. So I know I said the goal was 40 cooking, but if we get 50 we could make chocolate cakes. We have everything we need here, so I might as well. Plus, every cake gives so much more experience than anything else so far. As long as we don't burn them, which we probably will for a while, it'll be so much faster. So like maybe make a few more butters so that I don't burn, and then go for 50. And there's some diamonds from an event. This time, I'll be sure to not get rid of them. Whoa, mine shirt? Finally, something to wear. Alright, so that's gonna be 40 attack coming in. We still don't have a rune mace, but that's okay. I think we'll come back to that later. These guys are still kind of slow to kill, so... And the drop rate's just too low. We also got a meat pie from a random, which is going to be the only way to get a pie dish, so I'm holding on to it. Alright, there we go, that's 50, that means chocolate cakes. Also, I noticed before, I don't know if my character looks more like a Dollar Store Bane or like a Dollar Store Mad Max character. What do you guys think? Alright, there we go, so that's all the preparations done for starting these quests. We need to get all the prereqs done for Fairy Tale 1, then we gotta do that, and then we gotta start Fairy Tale 2. So obviously, I'm gonna need to make an exception to do these quests, but after this, hopefully all exceptions will be done. So, here we go. Alright, so that's Restless Ghost done. Next up is gonna be Priest in Peril. So for Priest in Peril, there's going to be a couple of small obstacles that we're going to have to overcome in order to complete this quest. The first is going to be the Temple Guardian, which actually went a lot easier than expected. We barely even had to use any food. But the next proved a little bit more difficult. We were going to have to get our hands on 50 pure essence, and without Rune Mysteries done, we don't have access to the essence mines, which means we'll have to get it from some type of drop. There's only a few low-level monsters that actually drop pure essence. I decided to try and go for Zamorakian Crafters, which are all the way over inside the Orania altar, and they don't really spawn that frequently. After about 10 or so kills, I finally got my first drop, and I found out the essence wasn't even noted, so we decided to move on. My next target was going to be Minotaurs from the Stronghold of Security. These guys seemed to be better in every way. They were easier to kill, there was a lot more of them, and they dropped essence much more frequently, plus it was noted. And there was more, so I mean it was a win-win all around. Within my first couple kills I already had a drop. After I finished gathering the essence, I headed back to the Varrock East Bank, and placed everything I didn't need on the table to keep it from despawning. Drezel only accepts unnoted essence, so I would have to unnote it at the bank, and walk one inventory at a time, so I'd need all the space I could get. And then we'd be starting Nature Spirit. So one of the required items for this quest is going to be a silver sickle. So in order to get one, I would need to get a silver bar, which is sold in Argoin by the silver stall guy. And then I'd just head over to Al-Kharid to buy the sickle mold and make it into a silver sickle, which luckily we have the crafting level for. Alright, so after getting over the famous Swamp Boy jump, I turned in the quest and Nature Spirit is now complete. Funny thing is that I had to go across this so many times, I accidentally got Agility 2 after leaving here. So now with Nature Spirit done, we're coming up to a quest that I've been dreading this entire time. And that quest is Fairy Tale Part 1. Normally this quest isn't so bad, but there's one huge thing which could prevent me from going for any further, and that's the 3 random items that are required to make the magic secateurs. Now most of these items are pretty easy to get, and I'm really banking on the fact that I get lucky and I get really easy items that I don't need to gain any levels for, but there are a few basically account killers that are in the list, like a Clean Avanto, but the one I'm most afraid of is this Nature Talisman. If I get this, I'm better off restarting my account from scratch and trying again until I don't get that item. Alright, so the first little part of this quest is done. I have the skull, and now I have to go give it to this guy, and he's gonna tell us what 3 items we need to make the magic secateurs. Now, I'm very nervous. I hope I'm gonna get some good items, but let's get it over with. Let's see what we get. Actually, that's not too bad. Could have been a lot worse. 2 of those items are really nice. The slimy eel is gonna be a little bit of a pain, but I have an idea for that, so awesome. Alright, so I'm going after the grapes first. Best way I know how to get them is to spawn inside the cooking guild, so I just got the chef's hat drop from the goblins. And a little known fact about the chef's hat is it's actually the rarest item in the game.
Hey, bump, bump, bump. Got any grapes?
Yeah, right upstairs. Alright, and here are some red spider eggs inside of Karamja Volcano. Alright, so the last thing we need to get is the slimy eel. Now the problem with that is we need 28 fishing to be able to get it. But luckily, we started out with 13 thanks to all the random events we got. So here's the plan I came up with in order to stay true to the challenge. So since I'm going to be gaining some fishing levels, I wanted to use the method I would have used anyway, which is catching Karambwanji near this fairy ring. What I can do is walk into the space of the fairy ring to reset the timer, go out and fish for about 25 seconds, and then run back to reset it every time. It's going to be a little bit tedious, but I want to stay true to the challenge, so I'm going to try it this way and see how it goes. Plus, I'm doing this whole quest as an exception anyway, so this is kind of just a practice run for the real thing, when I actually need a timer. Alright, so I gotta be honest with you guys. When I first decided I was going to do this, my original plan was going to be to kind of show the gist of it, that I could run back and forth between there, the timer wouldn't be a problem, and then off screen just fish the whole time and not worry about the timer, because like you guys would see that I'm close enough to the fairy ring that it doesn't really matter that I'm, you know, running back and forth every single time. You guys get the point that I'm pretty close. But I started thinking about it and I realized I actually do need to be true to the challenge even off screen, and I'll explain the 3 main reasons why. So first and foremost, I just want everything to be kind of transparent. Like, I don't want to go into something saying I did one thing and then behind the scenes I was doing something else. You know, I want to tell you guys what I actually did. I want to stay consistent to that. And second of all, going off of that, I kind of want to have that same level of satisfaction. Like, if I said, oh yeah, I did this really annoying thing that took forever to do, I don't want it to be like ruined because I lied about it and went off and actually did something a lot easier. But the main reason I decided that I need to do even the most tedious tasks like this is because I kind of want it to be annoying, and I'll explain why. So I decided to base my system off of a timer rather than a distance because I want it to kind of be a little bit uncomfortable for me outside of any fairy ring areas or ScapeRune or anything like that. I want anything inside of Zanaris or any of the other realms to be the best ways to train or get materials or resources, and I want anything outside of there to be an option, but to be like a terrible option, like a last resort. I don't adhere to my own rule set, the temptation to actually use those areas that are in the main world is going to be a lot greater, and I might end up using them a lot more and saying, oh yeah, this was so hard and tedious, and really I just use, you know, stuff outside of my rule set anyway. So I feel like it kind of defeats the whole purpose of being Other Realms or ScapeRune or Zanaris only Ironman anyway, so I gotta stick with it even behind the scenes. So I'll let you guys know if I do anything that's gonna be outside the rules or anything like that. But yeah, I'll be sticking to the rules even behind the scenes because I want this account to turn out to be the most authentic version it can be and kind of to naturally form the way I want it to go. Alright, so honestly, even with the running back and forth, the XP rates I got here are pretty good, like they're not too bad. So we're finishing up now, and here comes 28 fishing. Okay, so that's done. Let's go catch a slimy eel. Alright, so we're back here in the swamp for the last time. Time to fish up that eel. And awesome, now we can go get the secateurs. We finally did it, and it all went pretty smoothly too. So I just want to see if these are any better than the mace or not. I just want to get an idea of how long it's going to take to kill this thing. Alright, so these things kind of suck, but hey, it doesn't really matter. We're going to get this quest done either way. Alright, so we have one last thing to do before this episode comes to a close, and it's time to go back home to Zanaris. Alright, so I've gotten rid of everything that I don't need in my inventory or anything I can't keep, and I've prepared myself with some food. I also have some potions that I've been saving for this, and it's finally time to take on the Tanglefoot, which is the highest combat level monster I've faced so far at 111. It's gonna be pretty tough for a level 43 like me, but with enough flinching and enough patience, hopefully I should be able to kill him. Alright, the Tanglefoot is dead. Feels so nice, we're finally done with this quest. Let's go hand it in. And quest is complete. Alright, time to go get some fairy rings. Okay, so I lied. I have to go back out there to start Fairy Tale Part 2. But let's go do that real quick so we don't have to leave here ever again. So we got the first part of this quest done. Now we can go and talk to the lady who will unlock fairy rings for us. Also, this dialogue is pretty interesting because she mentions that Zanaris is very old and it's the nexus of all planes. I guess because like the fairy rings can take you in between worlds. So they're finally unlocked. Let's go ahead and take our first steps into the fairy ring. And with fairy rings unlocked, this episode has come to an end. Thank you guys all for sticking around and watching. I want to thank a few people in particular. Lord, thank you for your help with this cinematic in the beginning. It was a big help and I appreciate it. And I want to shout out all of Rarg CC. All you guys have been really supportive, and I don't know if I'd even have gotten this done if you guys weren't like urging me and just keeping me motivated and pushing me on to be able to do it. Thank you guys for just supporting it and everything. And I'm really looking forward to episode 3. There's going to be a few changes to the rules, but don't worry, I'm not making them any easier. They're going to get a little bit harder actually. And I have a few really cool things set up now that we can actually start doing stuff for real. So I'll see you guys next time. I'm going to get started right away on the next little bit of content once this episode is out. So with that, thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.